Hi everyone. Here's the link to the stream. So now we're going to move on to part 2 of the stream of Fanmade Hey Arnold Columbia TriStar DVD releases. Which for part 1, we talked about the 1997 releases, the 1998 releases, the 1999 releases, and some of the 2000 releases. So, for part 2, we're going to talk about the remainder of the 2000 releases, along with the 2001 releases, 2002 releases, one 2003 release, one 2004 release, the 2005 releases, and 2 2006 releases. So, we're going to wait for Movie&GameLover98 and so yeah. All right. All right. Just wanted to let Movie&GameLover98 know that I sent him the link on StreamYard, and the stream has just started. So, got it set up. And hey.
Hey, Flick Lover 2000.
So, you're welcome to stay on the stream until like 11 or 11:30, depending on how quick we get this done. Maybe, because I optionally, we could do a part 3 if we don't get through all those releases in this part.
Yeah.
So anyway, for part 1, we talked about the 1997 releases, the 98 releases, the 99 releases, and some of the 2000 releases.
Yeah.
Now, for part 2, we're going to talk about the remainder of the 2000 releases, along with the 2001 releases, a few of the 2002 releases, one 2003 release, one 2004 release, the 2005 releases, and a few 2006 releases as well.
Okay.
So, the last one we talked about was Compilation Collection Volume 5, Brother and Sister Madness. Now we're going to move on to the next one, and that is Compilation Collection Volume 6, Grandparent Fun.
Okay.
And the release date would be May 30th of 2000. As a result, this would be the very last Hey Arnold DVD release to be released when the company was still called Children's Television Workshop before they changed it to Sesame Workshop beginning in June 2000.
Yeah.
Anyway, also includes a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from the Children's Television Workshop. And did you notice that some of the earlier Season 1 episodes had the end credits play a bit faster than usual?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Well, I found out that this Season 1 episode followed the Dots from 1999 had Orb sound like himself.
Yeah, I thought he was going to sound like a teenager where he would go...
Like, Max, give your big buddy a hug!
Or what about the part when he gets upset when he lost his father's birdie?
It can't be! That's my dad's special whistler, and I promise I take really good care of it! And if it's lost, I'll be very sad, and so will my dad.
Yeah. But like I said, yeah, it's the first appearance of Norm the Number Gnome in Season 1. I'm pretty sure Season 2, the only episode he was in Season 2 was The Serpent's Trail. Have you seen that episode or no?
No.
I've seen it. I think that's Cyrus the Serpent's second appearance, or if not, he appeared in more episodes in Season 1 than Eggs Over Easy.
Also, what, if you had to take a guess which Dragon Tales episodes on TV had the dot ident and which ones had the dash one, what would it be?
I think one particular one.
Well, I know that the episodes To Kingdom Come and Goodbye Little Caterpoozle did have the dot ident from 1999, according to a program break.
Yeah.
I know Crash Landings and the Big Cake mix-up also ended with the dot ident. And I know Bully for You and the Great White Cloud Whale ended with the dot ident. Sandcastle Hassle and True Blue Friend ended with the dot ident as well. And believe it or not, Ketzel's Magic Pop-Up Book and My Way or Snow Way also ended with the dot ident. Which ones do you think also had the dot ident in addition to these episodes?
I had to take like a guess. I could guess from like any season, any episodes.
Well, let's start with Season 1.
Okay, my first guess would have to be Emmy's dream house and dragon sales?
Well, that one may have used dot or dash. I haven't seen a program break recorded after those episodes, so we can't tell for sure which.
Yeah, but I know you sent me one where it goes after the big cake mix-up is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, now the episodes for Grandparent Fun would be Snow Haunted Train,
Saw Train?
Stephenville, and Casa Paradiso. And it would also include the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes, A Picture's Worth 1,000 Words, and the Talent Pool. What are your thoughts on A Picture's Worth 1,000 Words?
Well, I say it's a cool one because it's the first appearance of the Doodle Fairy. Because they're fairies who don't speak. It's kind of interesting if you watch the first Toy Story. Sid's toys move, but they don't talk. Which is kind of bizarre. But yeah, this one...
It does sound like a teenager in that episode.
Well, actually, there was one scene where he did sound like himself, but he went to going back to doing his teenage voice. Well, one particular one when his mom is calling him, the birthday's almost ready, and he goes, "Okay, Mom." But then he speaks in his teenage voice again. Like, he's... Like, how does that... Like, his voice would sound like... "Now we'll never find a present for my mom." Well, and also I know some of Cassie's favorite parts when she sounds like a 4-year-old girl, where she says, "Now all we have to do is figure out what the picture is."
I noticed that Emmy sounded a bit younger in the later episodes compared to the earlier ones.
Yeah, that was strange. And also,
Max, I believe, sounded slightly older in the first episode, in the earlier season 1 episodes, where he sounded like an 8-year-old instead of a 4-year-old.
Yeah, well, yeah, and also what I think
especially when he's like, "I'll help you look. I'm a great seeker."
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. And what do I think about the talent pool? It's a good episode because
But what about the beginning when Emmy's mom reprimands her and's like, "Emmy, are you playing ball in there?"
And she goes, "Not anymore." And do they say the Dragonland rhyme to go to Dragonland the usual way, or do they say it more differently?
I think they say it the usual way.
Okay, because there was one particular one. Oh yeah, because in some earlier episodes of Dragon Tales, when Emmy and Max do the rhyme to go to Dragonland, Emmy does this in the earlier episodes. Like, she goes like this when they say the words "with all my heart." Like, they go, I wish with all my heart." She does this. And then they do this to Fly with Dragons in a Land Apart.
Could you please say that again? It kind of glitched a bit.
Sure. I think what I was trying to say is in earlier episodes of season 1 is that when Max and Emmy do the rhyme, they basically, when they say the words "with all my heart," Emmy sometimes does this. And then when they say "to fly with dragons in a land apart."
Yeah, I noticed that the dragons in the picture, sometimes they change colors when they go to Dragonland. Like in Zack and the Beanstalk, the top one is purple instead of red.
Yeah, that was an error I noticed when I watched Zack and the Beanstalk for the first time.
Alright. Now, here's how the DVD of Grandparent Fun will open up. Basically, it would have the Columbia TriStar DVD logo, which would have these soft whooshes and the regular softer phaser sounds, which this will be the last DVD released of 2000 to use the soft whooshes and the softer phaser sounds until they eventually return beginning in 2001 with School Days.
Yeah.
And then DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screens. And then the season 4 funding for Hey Arnold, and then the Libby's Juicy Juice ad, and the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad. The Hey Arnold season 4 funding continued, the title sequence, and the start of the episode Snow. And the closing to the Hey Arnold portion.
Yeah,
the last few seconds of the episode, Casa Paradiso, and then the online and local library promo from 1999 to 2000. And then, of course, the end credits. And then, of course, this season 4 funding again, and with the Libby's Juicy Juice ad and the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad. And then the season 4 funding continued. And then the television variant of the Columbia TriStar television logo. And then the PBS Kids ident with Dot, the girl running up to the screen. And then of course, the Dragon Tales portion would have the Rice Krispies Bird's Nest advertisement and the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales and the title sequence in the start of the episode of pictures worth 1,000 words. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, the talent pool, and then the Dragon Tales Online bumper from season 1, and then the end credits with the 1997 Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo with the word Play It Smart at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then, of course, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, and then the PBS Kids ident with Dot, the girl running up to the screen once again. Then we go back to the DVD menu.
Yeah. And what do I think of the talent pool? Decent episode. And, especially like the talent pool has a grumpy voice.
She's actually voiced by the same person who did Finn and Wheezy and stuff.
Right, Kathleen Barr.
And there's this one scene, Cassie shrinks in one scene, but she doesn't really cry, but she has a sad tone of voice, I don't think I have anything special for the talent show.
And then Ord would say, well,
he's like,
don't
Cassie,
be sad.
Don't be sad. You always get littler and littler when you're sad.
And then Cassie's like, I know, but I just can't take it.
Or I know, but I can't help it.
All right.
Now we're going to go into Volume 7 of the compilation collection, which is Sharing is Caring. And the release date would be July 4th of 2000, which is Independence Day of 2000.
Yeah, and also before Magic Railroad came out in theaters.
And even though this would be the first release to be released when the company was called Sesame Workshop, it would be the last release to use the Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo on the front cover. A similar thing happens with the Sesame Street VHS Let's Make Music released 2 weeks later, where it still had the CTW semicircle logo on the back cover and the tape label, even though it was the first VHS to use the Sesame Workshop logo.
Yeah.
And the episodes would be Tutoring Torvald, Save the Tree, and Harold's Kitty.
Yeah. And what you said about that one compilation earlier, one of the Hey Arnold episodes is the same title as one of the Thomas episodes from season 5. When you said just snow.
Yeah. And Sharing is Caring would also include the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes, which are Bad Share Day and Whole Lot of Maracas Going On.
Yeah, and what you said about
Bad Share Day appearing on the DVD of Sharing is Caring. Well,
it'd be kind of cool to have them combined. And I know you told me about how the beginning goes in Bad Share Day.
Where Emmy and Max were fighting over the keyboard, and then Max calls out for his mother.
Yeah, I can actually do it this time. Mom! Emmy! Emmy won't share my care board with me.
I think they should have extended the scene and it'd be like, Emmy, share with your sister Maxito. You've been playing with it all day.
Yeah, and also I can do the impression from their mom. Well, let Emmy play with it, and you can find another toy to play with.
And then, let's say that after the mom says that line, the dad would say, actually, Emmy, you should share it with Max. It's his turn now. You've been playing with it all day.
Yeah, you can barely hear their dad, like rarely hear their dad's voice at the end of any episode or at the beginning. And also, I know particularly like in one scene of Bad Share Day, like when Cassie yells out for her crayon.
I need my crayon!
And then the others go, you don't have to shout.
That was Zach saying, you don't have to shout!
Yeah, and I even like the funniest, like, because like they do the parody of how the ants go rolling along, but it's just a parody with the crayon doing it, saying how the crayons go rolling along.
And what were your thoughts on that scene where Wheezy drew that Wheezy phone, also known as a Dragon Tales version of a tuba?
Very, very well, I might add, because I guess she's a great artist. And yeah, what do I think of...
What do you think of Zach's reaction when Wheezy blew into it?
It's like it blew his ears out and he almost got deaf.
He was like, ah! Where's the crayon?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I noticed. And yeah, and also about whole lot of maracas going on. I gotta say, it's a really cool one. That's another one where they have to keep the thing a surprise from their teacher because it's Teacher's Day.
I think there's this one scene where these flowers are crying because they can't make music very well.
No, they didn't cry. It's just they kept telling Zach and Weezy they wouldn't let him leave because they need audience because they're not good. Well, also, I like the funny parts at the beginning and the end where Max ends up all sleepy. The beginning where it goes, wake up, sleepyhead. And then Max goes, ugh, I'm tired.
And
then
yeah.
And then he goes, I'm awake. And then the funniest one when this episode ends, that was a funny ending.
Pop goes the Max.
Or basically, pop goes the Diesel. Or pop goes the Weasel.
And how would you compare the cell animation from season 1 compared to the digital ink and paint animation in seasons 2 and 3?
Well, what I like about the cell animation when they show their teeth, when they do the pronunciations with these words, it's more accurate. But I find the digital ink and paint one not too bad because, like when they still say their words, they don't use their teeth. Because it's more reminiscent of later kids shows, but I still like the earlier PBS kids shows, like Dragon Tales was one of them, and the other one being Bob
Arthur,
the Builder.
Earlier seasons of Arthur.
Yeah.
What about the later versions of Sesame Street with Elmo's World included?
Oh, those are the coolest. And also, there was another segment I forgot to talk about in last night's part 1, that there's also a segment in Sesame Street called Journey to Ernie, where Big Bird goes on this wacky sequence to find where Ernie's hiding. It's like a basic Sesame Street version of hide and seek if you watch those segments, Journey to Ernie on Sesame Street.
Oh, and I believe there's another segment that focuses on Grover traveling all around the world.
Yeah, he basically, I think he's either turned into Super Grover, or he's just does something else.
And anyway, at the beginning of the DVD of Sharing is Caring, it'll have the 2000 Columbia TriStar Home Video logo, but it would have an interesting variation. It would say Home Entertainment in that logo instead of DVD.
Yeah,
which
that's what
is
they did on.
completely different from that of the 2001 Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's what I
basically,
noticed.
it's the version of the Columbia TriStar Home Video logo that is seen on the DVD of Jill the Ripper, which I'll send you the link to the opening just in case.
Okay. Excuse me. Just
And
watching.
what are your thoughts on the Elmo's World segments? What is your favorite segment, Movie and Game Lover 98?
Out of all of them, how many of them are there altogether of Elmo's World? Not to be
I
confused with the
think
reboot.
for the original series from 1998 to 2009, there's like 67 episodes.
So out of them, I think my favorite would have to be the school one, or the how could Elmo ask a baby what does he do at school? But that's kind of funny because you know how in Cassie the Green-Eyed Dragon, Cassie brought Finn to school. But yeah, it's like, but also like my favorite one have to be birthdays and dogs and cats and also the maybe the balls one or a camera one. I do like the one with the camera one, especially like I'm not sure because I don't know which ones out of the 67 as well have the ones where there's a double version of Mr. Noodle.
Well, what? But have you seen the Sleep episode? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I've seen the Sleep one many years ago. That one was actually good because you know they show them well basically like I told you like the ones before they go to the segment with Elmo saying we'll ask the baby how do you do this thing, like Elmo just tells the viewer Dorothy wants to ask someone else, and a kid.
Did you notice that in some of the episodes Elmo had trouble opening the door? The knob like was stretching into a long band before he could finally get it open.
What segment was that one?
Well, it happened in a few of those episodes, like Sky and Sleep, and getting dressed and open and close.
Particularly the Sleep, like I said, the Sleep one was the one I watched a long time ago. Like, especially like, yeah. And also like they also explain like all the different age schools in the school segment of Elmo's World. But that like there's a pretend like I think there's a pretend Muppet version of an object that tells Elmo all your age schools, basically from preschool all the way up to high school.
And what are your thoughts on the Friends episode?
The Friends episode of
Yeah. At the beginning, all the Muppet characters enter through Elmo's closet door, and in the interview, Elmo is like completely lost it when he's like, "But Zoe is Elmo's friend, not Rocco."
well, I didn't see that before. I'll have to give that another try one of these days because, like I said, I do like the regular Sesame Street segments as well as Elmo's World. Don't get me wrong.
Now, what are your thoughts on the food episode, especially at the beginning with Cookie Monster's cameo and he's eating the cereal box and stuff?
That part was kind of funny because I'll have to notice he was eating. It wasn't like a cookie flavored cereal, but it's just a cereal box.
Did you notice that the Elmo's World theme song changed over the years?
Yeah. Like,
which
you know
version
how
do you prefer? Like the original 1998 version of the theme, or the one from the 2000s where Elmo draws on his drawer and then the television appears and dances with Elmo briefly?
I think I prefer the original one because you know, like at the end of the theme song, Elmo draws on his shade.
Yeah, Elmo draws on his shade at the end of the 2000s one as well, but it's a darker color in the 98 version.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like it was strange how they did it. Elmo's World 1998, like before Elmo and Grouchland came out into theaters. Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah, you said something about compilation release, or well, we're gonna get to it soon.
So we're actually getting into it right now, as a matter of fact.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
But there's one question. I think MRKP 2003 is asking to talk about the footages or montages. And what is your favorite montage of those segments?
They're really great. Well, yeah. I think you're asking it to one of your followers.
So, yeah. So, at the beginning of the DVD of Sharing is Caring, it will have the 2000 Columbia TriStar home video logo, but with a special version of the logo with the word Home Entertainment at the bottom instead of DVD. And that is completely different from that of the more familiar Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment logo. Basically, the home entertainment version of the home video logo from 2000 is basically the same as the Columbia TriStar DVD logo, but the only difference is that it says home entertainment.
Yeah.
Then after that, DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning and attention screen, season 4 funding, and then the Libby's Juicy Juice ad, and then the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, season 4 funding continued, title sequence in the start of the episode Tutoring Torvald, and the closing to the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode Harold's Kitty, then the online and local library promo from 1999 to 2000, end credits, season 4 funding, Libby's Juicy Juice ad, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, season 4 funding continued, the television variant of the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then the PBS Kids Ident with Dash the Boy Thinking. And then the Dragon Tales portion would have the Kellogg's Rice Krispies Bird's Nest advertisement, and in the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales title sequence in the start of the episode Bad Share Day. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode Whole Lot of Maracas going on, then the season 1 online bumper, and then the end credits. And then it has the 1997 Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo with the word Play It Smart at the bottom, and then of course the Columbia TriStar television logo, and the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, and then the PBS Kids Ident. This time it would have Dot the girl running up to the screen in the Dragon Tales portion, and then
yeah. And also, like yesterday when we did the impressions of the Thomas narrators, how they could narrate the fundings for all 3 seasons of Dragon Tales. I actually forgot to do the Alec Baldwin impression of the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, where it literally goes like this. Dragon Tales is funded in part by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting through funds from the United States Department of Education.
Yeah, and
well, yeah.
And also, I could imagine what it would be like if there was I could imagine what it would be like if there was a show that PBS and Disney cooperated on together. Well,
I know for a fact Thomas was on PBS originally before it turned to Nick Jr. But it crossed over with was it a Playhouse Disney or was it a Disney Channel show, basically?
No, I'm talking about a fan-made show that PBS and Disney would cooperate on. It's based off of the Captain Underpants books.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so anyway, now we're gonna go into volume 21, which is called Helga Sleepwalks. And you know what the release date for Helga Sleepwalks would be?
The Sleepwalks episode.
The release date for the DVD of Helga Sleepwalks.
Well, would it be like the fan-made release date would be like... you said the other one was July. So the previous one was July?
Yeah. Volume 21 of Helga Sleepwalks would be released, which is Helga Sleepwalks. It'll be released August 1st, 2000.
Same date that the Dragon Tales release of the 3 VHS tapes, and the one DVD release, if I'm correct.
Yes, that is correct. It's also it's also the same day Jeremy Barton has turned 4. And also 4 days after I was born.
Okay. That makes sense, because yes, both August and July have 31 days. Well, anyways, yeah. So yeah, August 1st, the release date for that release of Volume 21.
Yeah, and it would say also includes a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop on the front cover. It would have the blue house and the green roof on the front cover from August 1st, 2000 to September 25th, 2001.
Yep.
And here are the episodes. There are only 4 episodes of Hey Arnold on this DVD, and they are Helga's Sleepwalks, Fighting Families, Headless Cabby, and Friday the 13th. But now there's something very interesting when you get to the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes on this DVD. The DVD of Helga's Sleepwalks, released August 1st of 2000, would also include 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes. Ironically enough, they are To Kingdom Come and Goodbye Little Caterpoozle.
Yeah. And what do I think of To Kingdom Come?
It's okay, but I think when Ord was fighting and stuff over the wish shell, it was not really that good, but everything else was okay.
Yeah, I particularly like how you did the impression of Zack saying,
now we're stuck here!
Stuck here!
The Kingdom Come!
The Kingdom Come! Forever! Yeah, and also, I'm trying to remember, like, when Emmy says, can't go home, when Ord accidentally wished them to come to Kingdom Come instead of him just wishing himself back to the beach, instead of just wishing him there on accident, after he actually used up all 3 wishes. Because, well, that's what it was. And also, about Goodbye Little Caterpoozle, man, when I watched that episode, like a few times, yeah, like I said, yes, that's the first time Cassie cried.
And that is one of the only times where Cassie and Ord cried, and
well, yeah, like I said, it was just a tiny sniffle cry for Ord, because he felt sorry for Cassie's Caterpoozle.
I can imagine what Zack and Wheezy's reaction would be like if they heard.
Well,
maybe
yeah.
you would have Wheezy crying with Cassie, and then Zack comforting her.
Yeah, and also, yeah, I can do the impression, like, when Cassie, well, before she gasps that she thinks Poozy's gone, like when she goes, "Oh no!"
Well, and MRKP 2003 is asking you what you think of the footage theme for Elmo's World.
Yeah, and also about the other impressions of Goodbye Little Caterpoozle, like, and then when Cassie goes, "Poozy's gone forever," and then they say, "Don't give up, Cassie." And then when they finally realize that Poozy's in the chrysalis,
oh, she's asking what do you think of the footage theme?
Oh, that. Sorry. I think cool, like I mentioned. But yeah. And yeah, I'm trying to say, like, the impressions from Goodbye Little Caterpoozle, like, and then when Max sees, what's that? And then Cassie goes, oh, she's dead!
She's dead! Oh, Poozy!
And then Ord goes, sure is. And then Quetzal comes up and says,
oh, I think she's asking what your favorite scene in an Elmo's World footage or montage would be.
Oh, yeah. Like montage?
Or what your favorite scene is in the montage.
Of Elmo's World?
Yeah.
particularly the Mr. Noodle scenes, and
I
when
think
Elmo
she's
asked the
asking
baby.
about the Elmo's World footage or montage that comes before the Mr. Noodles scenes.
Oh, those, like, when he opens the drawer, the closet.
No, the footage comes after he opens the door and stuff. When there are like crayon scribbles into scenes of live action children and something.
Oh, that. Yeah. I'm trying to figure which one is my favorite of those, like, using live action clips. I do like the ones with from the school one, the birthdays, and the dogs and the cats. Particularly, I think that the farm one is kind of good too.
I kind of like the music montage where they are playing different instruments.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, not like the ones where the kid is basically talking in those live action scenes.
So anyway. So, at the beginning of the DVD of Helga Sleepwalks, it would have the 2000 Columbia TriStar home video logo. This time it goes back to saying DVD at the bottom, and it gets back to using the loud whooshes and the regular louder phaser sounds, which is also on the DVD of Adventures in Dragonland, released on the same day.
Yeah.
And then the DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, attention screens, the Season 4 funding, Libby's Juicy Juice ad, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, Season 4 funding continued, title sequence, and the start of the episode Helga Sleepwalks. And at the end of the Hey Arnold portion, it would have the last few seconds of the episode Friday the 13th, not to be confused with the Arthur episode of the same name from Season 6.
Like you said with the April 9th Arthur episode from Season 7.
Yeah. But Friday
the
13th is from Season 6.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting they go, like, in that kind of interesting order. Well, anyways, yeah. Let's get the other portion.
And then after the episode Friday the 13th of Hey Arnold, Friday the 13th, that is, it would have the online local library promo from 1999 to 2000, and then, of course, the end credits. And then, of course, the Season 4 funding, Libby's Juicy Juice ad, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, Season 4 funding continued, the television variant of the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then the PBS Kids ident with Dash the Boy thinking about something, and then the Dragon Tales portion would have the Rice Krispies Bird's Nest ad, the Season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, the title sequence in the start of the episode to Kingdom Come. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, Goodbye Little Catapulzel, the online bumper for Dragon Tales from Season 1, the end credits, 1997 Children's Television Workshop, semicircle logo with the word Play It Smart at the bottom. Even though it's the first release to use the Sesame Workshop logo on the front cover, the Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo would continue to be used on the screen on many future Hey Arnold DVD releases throughout the rest of 2000 and very early 2001.
Yeah.
And then the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, and then the Season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, and then the PBS Kids ident with Dot the girl running up to the screen, and then we finally go to the DVD menu.
Yeah. And also, mind if I do the other impressions from Goodbye Little Catapulzel? Like, when after they all felt sad that Poozy...
What's the matter, niños?
Yeah. What's the matter, niños? And then Emmy is like, Cassie's Caterpoozle died. Even
though the Caterpoozle wasn't actually dead, it was just hibernating to turn into a butterfly.
Well, particularly just a little butter. Yeah, but in real life it's butterflies. But yeah, and I do like the other things. Like, I like the portion when Ort's tummy growl. Like, you've seen those compilations where their tummy growls.
Well, what about when Max went way too close to the that bug that stunk?
Yeah, and then Ort was like, "Don't get too close, Max." And then Max was like, "Why not?"
And he's because like, "It's a stinky dink."
P.U. That's also said at the very end, like when the last few seconds of the episode when Max and Emmy are back home. That line is recycled actually when Max says P.U. again. Yeah.
Did you know that some of Ord's crying sounds from season 1 would later be heard in the season 2 episode's Big Funky Cloud?
Yeah. Yeah. You know how much I don't like Big Funky Cloud.
It is abysmal.
Extremely bad. Except just the first few minutes where everything looks good enough. All right, I guess.
But everything else in the episode just repeats itself over and over again with Ord's non-stop crying.
Yeah, I think he cries even harder than Finn does in Finn's Blankie, but at least I know in the end of the episode Finn's Blankie, Finn is happy again to have his Blankie back. Despite
now,
they could have
there was a sequel to the episode Big Funky Cloud called The Big Funky Cloud Returns, but this time it's focusing on Zack and Wheezy in the Big Funky Cloud because their music was blown away.
Well, it'd be the same, but I think they have to include Emmy, Max, and Enrique, and they basically all ask what's wrong. Who would be a good choice? Ord or Cassie, like tells them what's wrong. They say it's Zack and Wheezy.
Like basically, he's been in the Big Funky Cloud before.
Okay, I thought Cassie would be a cool one, but I guess I'll just do the Ord pretend one because there's no fourth season.
What's wrong? Why are you crying, Zack and Wheezy?
And then they would basically, well, we were trying to practice for a song,
but the music has blown away.
Ah, that's Kapasa. That's what Enrique said. Don't worry, guys. I'm sure you can find another way to perform for your concert tonight.
Well, we can't. The music is blown away by the Lost Forever hole. Forever!
Well, I'm sure we can find another way to get the music started up again. But, yeah, and I think...
And then what if there were some flashbacks to the episode Big Funky Cloud where Ord was upset and then he's like, boy, was I really upset about my special blanket.
Yeah. Yeah, and what about the episode Flying Solo? You kept telling me about it, like, making some remarks about it.
Like, that episode would be where Ord, Max, and Enrique are all absent because they had to do after-school activities and couldn't go to Dragonland. And as a result, all of the dragons are very sad because they were looking forward to see Emmy and Max and Enrique, but they can't. But they'd rather prefer to fly with their buddies.
Yeah, and also particularly, I think you said like the first one to cry first would be Ord or Cassie.
Ord would be the first one to cry, and then Zack and Wheezy join in, and then Cassie joins in last.
Well, what would it be a good dialogue for Ord to say, like when he cries first, like when they can't come?
I'm really gonna miss Max and Emmy and Enrique. I was looking forward to spending time with them, but I can't.
Or Zack and Wheezy would go, "We hear you, Ord.
We hear you, Ord. I miss Emmy too."
I'm sorry, Ninos. There's nothing I can do about it.
We know!
But I'm sure you'll have a great time, and maybe next time you'll get to see them, and you'll be happy again.
Finn, what is wrong? Are you sad with us too?
Wait, you put Finn in there?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But it's not really that dramatic because Finn at least does it a bit more quietly.
Yeah, but the others just for some reason do it louder, despite Cassie is older than Finn. Well, anyways,
Well,
yeah.
what if there was a scene where they called Emmy, Max, and Enrique on the phone and asked them how their after-school activities are? At least their voices could be heard on the phone, even though they're not seen.
Well, that could be interesting because I don't know how they can contact from Dragonland all the way back to America. Or basically like over like a communicator phone, I guess?
Or maybe they use a computer to talk to them.
Well, for using a computer, they have to ask their parents if they can use a computer to send them an email, because that could be a cool thing to help them just feel a little bit better, so they're not left out without their friends.
Yeah. And you know something? You know, when I start watching the show, when I was watching TV shows, I often not only like to hear their voices, but I also like to determine what musical instruments are actually heard in shows.
Yeah. Particularly the actual start of the episode, I couldn't even tell what instrument was playing.
Well, I do know that the bassoon is the most common instrument heard in Dragon Tales episodes.
What kind of instrument?
The bassoon. It's a weird name for a woodwind instrument, but it's called a bassoon.
It's kind of like saying kazoo, but it's just bazoo.
It's called bassoon. Bassoon.
Okay. Okay, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know something? There were some season 1 episodes where they played like Do Not Pass No or tried to fix the yo-yo. You could hear some woodwind instruments and a tuba playing in the background as well. Apparently, that instrument wasn't heard as much in season 1 as it was in seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah, and also about what we made about the made-up season 4 episode, Flying Solo, where actually they could find a way to talk to their buddies, despite they're still at home because they couldn't come.
Well, no, they're actually at school. They're doing after-school activities.
Oh, well, do they have a way to contact their friends at school? Well, basically
maybe they're at recess.
Like, they could have, like, a personal something while they're at recess.
Yeah.
Like a pretend, like, what is it? Dragon phone, I think?
Yeah, and then let's imagine at the end of the episode, he's like, I wish we could come back to Dragonland, guys, but apparently I have to do after-school activities for a few more years before I can come back.
Or what if they didn't do that and just, even though the episode would end off kind of sad, but they could make it a little bit better, just a tiny bit, but like make Cassie or talk through the personal communicator at recess to Max, Emmy, or Enrique, where they go, Max, how you doing, buddy?
He's like, I'm doing okay, Ord. Emmy or Enrique?
Yeah, I kind of feel sad still, buddy. I just wish...
Sorry, but we can't go to Dragonland anymore because we have after-school activities to do within the next 5 years.
I know, buddy. It can be tough. Or I remember one where Cassie...
Worry, I'm not sad about it. I'm sure you guys are.
Yeah, what about one where Emmy talks to Cassie?
Emmy, could you hear me?
Cassie, my friend,
Emmy,
are you feeling all right?
Oh, I really miss you. Why aren't you in Dragonland anymore? I know you're in the after-school activities.
It's okay, Cassie. I know how you feel. We're the same way as you guys.
Enrique, can you hear me? No, Enrique's not at recess.
Well, anyway, yeah. And also, I'm trying to think of another good season 4 episode of Dragon Tales.
Oh, what about this one episode where Ord and Cassie were both crying in pain because they got stung by a dragon bee?
I'll have to come up with some fan-made dialogue for this. Or what about the one where they actually see a bee before they got stung? Like, a bee! Run for your lives!
Dragon bee, run!
But then they don't have time to run, but then they actually tripped over. Whoa! Whoa!
Oh!
Oh! Like, which part of Ord would get stung by him on the dragon bee?
He would actually get stung in the scales.
Oh, my scales!
Oh, my scales! And then the same thing happens with Cassie.
Or, like, it just stung their scales? Like, it just hurt their... And she goes, oh, my scales!
Oh, my scales! Go get Dr. Boo-Boo Gun! No!
Or yeah, I think it also has the kids in that fan-made one, right?
Yeah.
Where they get and then they.
Ord, Cassie, why are you crying? Why are you in pain?
There was a dragon bee, and we tried to run. Oh no! You guys must need some help to get that recovered. We'll take you to.
Ow! 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 Ouch! Ouch!
Well, and then the kids would try to, or one of them would say, "You guys, you guys could seriously use a checkup. We'll see if Dr. Boo Boo Gun's available."
And yet,
well, Ord and Cassie, you must have come in because you have a serious accident.
A very, very serious accident. We got stung by a dragon bee, and it really hurts.
Well, don't you and Cassie worry. We'll get you healed up and you'll be good as new in no time.
Oh! I can't breathe.
And then Zach and Wheezy and the kids would go gas like this. Just pretend your friends are gonna help you and everything's going to be okay, you two. Just hold your friends' hands while I put.
Wait a minute, Cassie! Are you having an allergic reaction? No!
I'm afraid I am, Ord. Well,
No!
well, anyway, but I'm talking about like it's the same thing as calling Dr. Zach, but this time Max holds on to Ord's hand.
And Emmy holds on to Cassie's.
Yeah, and Enrique joins in and Zach and Wheezy hold their shoulders, basically.
But at least Zach and Wheezy didn't get stung. Because they shoot it away.
Yeah, and then basically they go, hold tight, you guys. We'll hold on to you for sure. Now hold still, you two. I will just put a little bit of this allergic medicine on your scales, and you'll feel better right away.
Cassie's the only one allergic. I'm not allergic, though.
Well, then I'll just put a very special medicine on your scales, Ord, so you don't have any bumps anymore, or any bleeding. And make sure you hold your friends' hands tight.
MRKP 2003 is asking what your favorite scene from the farms montage for Elmo's World would be.
I think the TV one.
Like, no, like he's talking about the animal montages of farms with like live action children.
Oh, those. Yeah, I like the one where they show some montage of some kids on the farm.
So, anyway, enough talk about it. Now we're gonna move on, and it's Volume 22, which is Veterans Day, and the release date would be September 5th, 2000.
September 5th, because Veterans Day is usually November.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah.
But it would be released September 5th, 2000. So, you know what that day marked?
September 5th. Well, we all know the 9/11 tribute was September 11th, 2001. So September 5th.
2000 release.
Well, September 5th would mark.
It would mark the day after Clifford the Big Red Dog and Caillou premiered on PBS.
Oh, basically the same day.
The day after.
Well, yeah,
September
basically.
4th, 2000 was when Clifford and Caillou premiered, and September 5th was the day after it. Was the day.
Oh, okay. So basically, just the day after they aired on PBS Kids, with like the first episode of Clifford the Big Red Dog was My Best Friend.
Yeah, and Cleo's Fair Share.
Cleo's Fair Share. Yeah.
And also, beginning on September 4th, there were new PBS Kids idents that were introduced when those shows aired, both of which involved transformation. One of them had Dash transforming into a caveman, then to a scuba diver, then to a robot, and while the other had Dot transforming into a tiger, octopus, and astronaut.
Oh, cool. I remember those. They would air after some of my favorite PBS Kids shows.
Anyway, Veterans Day would also include a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop. And it would have 3 episodes, and they are Veterans Day, Helga on the Couch, and Dino Checks Out. Not to be confused with Dino from the Flintstones.
Yeah, something called Dino Checks Out.
It would also include the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes, Ord Sees the Light and The Ugly Dragling.
Yeah, what do I think? Oh, man. Ord Sees the Light? I say it's a tiny bit better than Snow Dragons in my personal opinion. Because at least Emmy went with Ord and Max that time, because in Snow Dragons she didn't, because she had to take care of Cassie and Snow Dragons.
But Zack and Wheezy and Cassie are still absent.
Yeah. What do I have to think of it? I don't think it's as bad. Because, I know it's just Ord, Max, and Emmy.
Compared to Snow Dragons, which was just Ord and Max.
And Quetzal. Because they
Quetzal
always
does
mix.
not appear in Ord Sees the Light, apparently.
Also not in Miami or Bust or My Way or Snow Way. Yeah, because I think it mixed up on the Wikipedia page saying how many episodes Quetzal is absent in. Well, anyway, yeah, but Ord Sees the Light is where they try to find
Isn't
Max.
it kind of like a remake of the season 1 episode, The Forest of Darkness, because of the same location?
I think it is, but this one they're trying to find Max's friend Hoppy.
Which appeared earlier in the episode Frog Prince.
Yeah, but that one, at least it had Cassie in that one.
And Zack and Wheezy, I believe, were absent in that one.
Well, yeah, they were absent in that episode. My bad. But yeah.
Now, what do you thought from the episode The Ugly Dragling, on the other hand?
Oh my god. I was just blown away by it. Like the first time I saw Priscilla, like she gets embarrassed and just hides in the treehouse crying because they think her wings are ugly when they're not. They look pretty in my opinion, but I don't know why they keep saying.
I believe this is the second time Mungus sneezes right after Zack and the Beanstalk.
Isn't it?
Achoo!
Yeah, like there's the montage of this where everyone sneezes. Have you seen that clip on YouTube? Like by some YouTuber called, I think it's Ryan S. someone, because he did the montage of everyone sneezing in The Ugly Dragling. Who sneezed the loudest in the Ugly Dragling?
I believe it was Mungus.
Yeah, because how big and powerful he is.
Yeah.
And
So,
yeah,
yeah.
continue.
This would be one of the latest episodes to use the cell animation. And I know Ord does sound a lot like Ord sounds like himself throughout the episode Ord sees the light.
Yeah. And
it kind of reminds me of when Barney Rubble didn't sound much like himself in earlier episodes of season 1 of the Flintstones, but then in later episodes of season 1 of the Flintstones, along with seasons 2 to 6, Barney Rubble sounded more like himself, like, "Hiya, Fred, what you doing?"
yeah, and also about the character Priscilla, she would actually become the lost and not yet found dragon in Finders Keepers in season 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's just an ordinary character in The Ugly Dragling.
Anyway, at the beginning of the DVD of the Veterans Day DVD, it would have the 2000 Columbia TriStar home video logo with the word DVD at the bottom. And then, of course, with the loud whooshes and the regular louder phaser sounds. Then it would have the DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screens. The season 4 funding, which makes its very last appearance on this DVD. The Libby's Juicy Juice ad, which is the last appearance of that advertisement. And then the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school advertisement, which is the last appearance in the Hey Arnold portion. However, it continued to be used in the Dragon Tales portion as late as the beginning of 2001.
Yeah,
and then, of course, the Hey Arnold season 4 funding continued. The title sequence and the start of the episode Veterans Day. And the closing to the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode Dino Checks Out. And then the online and local library promo for Hey Arnold from 1999 to 2000, which makes its last appearance. And then the end credits. And then the season 4 funding would be Juicy Juice ad, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, season 4 funding continued. Television variant of the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then PBS Kids Ident with Dot the Girl running up to the screen. And then the Dragon Tales portion would have the Kellogg's Rice Krispies Bird's Nest ad, the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales title sequence, and the start of the episode Ord Sees the Light. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, The Ugly Dragling. Then the online and local library, the online bumper for Dragon Tales from season 1. The end credits, 1997 Children's Television Workshop, semicircle logo with the word Play It Smart at the bottom. And then, of course, the Columbia TriStar television logo. And then the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, and then the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales. And then the PBS Kids Ident from 1999 with Dash the Boy. Thinking this would be the 3rd DVD of Hey Arnold to use the Dash ident after the Dragon Tales portion, right after Brother and Sister Madness and Arnold Saves the Day, respectively.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, remember you told me another fan-made season 4 episode of Dragon Tales where this one Zach and Wheezy are scared to perform on this stage, kind of like it's a sequel to Musical Scales in my personal opinion.
Zach and Ord this time.
Oh.
Wheezy's not scared, but Zach and Ord are. They both face their fears of the stage. Kind of like when Cassie does it in I Believe in Me.
Oh, okay. So a sequel to that one.
So, what do you think would happen in that episode?
What would happen? Well, it would be like they would be disappointed they weren't picked to be in the play. Or what is it? Is it
in the play, but they were scared of forgetting their lines.
Yeah, it also references to Make No Mistake. Yeah. And also, what about the episode where a fan-made one where he said if they can't find the headphones where Zach and Ord cried?
Actually, Zach is the one that can't find the headphones, and then Zach cries he's doomed, and then Ord feels bad for Zach, and then he joins in.
Yeah, I think what would be a good dialogue? Like, I could try, like,
I'll never find my headphones. I'm doomed.
I'm sorry, Zach. There's nothing I can do.
No, if Wheezy can't find her headphones, we won't be able to play in the performance.
Like, pretend that performance was the Twilight talent show from So Long Solo or something.
Yeah. We won't be able to perform in the Twilight performance because Zach lost his headphones.
Or the kids could tell them, it's okay, guys. We can't just give up. We'll keep on
well,
trying.
That's easy for you to say. Our headphones are lost forever.
Yeah. And what if there was an episode I also fan made called, like, basically it's called, like how we made like a different version of No Hitter, like, when Emmy like you said, like how Emmy would accidentally hit Cassie's tail and Cassie go, "Ow, my tail!"
Gee, I'm sorry, Cassie. I meant to hit the ball.
Oh, well, I can't play with my tail like this.
It's okay. It's okay, Cassie. I'll go get Quetzal and apologize.
And then Emmett goes, Quetzal, I accidentally hit Cassie with my bat, or was it just Dragon Ball?
Dragon Ball.
Okay, so...
Huh? Oh, it was an accident? Unlike Max, he did it on purpose.
Well, Emmy, I'm glad you're telling me it was just an accident. So you're okay to keep playing. And what about the portion, like after during the portion when Quetzal's in the timeout with Max in No Hitter, the original, like, and you saw how Old was sad when you kicked him. And Max was like, but I used the words. But next time, if you feel like hitting someone, what should you do? Yeah, by the way, yeah. But a different version when Emmy did it on accident, and then Quetzal would, like, say, I think Cassie should go to Dr. Bubblegum and get
That's exactly what I'm going to take him. I'm going to take him to Dr. Bubblegum right now. Gee, I'm so sorry, Cassie.
Thanks, Emmy. You're the best friend I've ever had.
You're welcome.
And then Dr. Bubblegum is like, coming.
Emmy kicked my tail by accident.
Well, don't you worry, Cassie. We'll get...
I think I might have sprained my scales.
Well, don't worry, little girl. We'll have yourself fixed in no time. We'll put some little special medicine on your tail, and it will feel all better. And then Cassie's like, oh, thank you, Dr. Bubblegum. You're the best doctor in Dragonland. Hey, don't mention it. You're known for being some of the best patients in the world.
And then what if later in that scene, Ord cried because he didn't know where because he thought he lost the Dragon Ball.
Oh, kind of like a mini sequel to Follow the Dots, but he didn't cry.
I lost the Dragon Ball. Now I won't know how to play Dragon Ball, and we'll have to cancel the game.
Now what should we do? We'll never get this. Now we'll never win this game for sure. But yeah, but at least yes.
Uh-oh, it looks like Ord's big funky cloud has come visit because he lost the Dragon Ball.
Oh no, not that again.
And then Ord And then Quetzal comes in and asks Ord what's wrong. What is the matter, Ord?
What is the matter, Ord? Huh. And then Ord explains, yeah.
I don't know where the Dragon Ball went. I'm afraid I lost it forever.
Oh no, I'm very sorry, Nino. Without the ball, I'm afraid we're gonna have to cancel this game for sure.
I don't want it canceled.
I want to keep playing more Dragon Ball.
Me too.
Okay, well, at least, yes, it's Cassie and Ord crying, but at least Emmy does not hit Ord, which is good. But yeah. And also, like, with this one where they do separate Zack from Wheezy, kind of like it not separated at birth.
What if there was one episode where Emmy and Max were accidentally conjoined together?
Well, I'm not sure about that, because, like, what if, and also, what if there was a season 4 episode where Emmy does go to Dragonland without Max this time? The episode title would be called...
It would be called My Max or Bust.
Or what about, yeah, because you know how it's opposite? Like I said, how I improve my Emmy or bust after, if they just let Emmy warn Max with the dragon scale, after Max says this sentence, he tells Emmy, thanks, Emmy, for warning me about the Dragonland playtime, and Emmy says, you're welcome, Max. I better get going. Dad's waiting for me in the car. Have fun.
Emmy, come on!
Yeah, instead of that, and then I heard his mom calling. Oh my god. But this one, they give them the My Max or Bust version. But this one, it'd be opposite. You know, like, where Max tells Emmy he's going to the store with their mom. But Max do this the opposite. Do the same way if I would improve the episode, but it's a different version.
I think MRKP 2003 is like asking, when can you answer her question, and asked if you saw the footage for the Farms episode.
I'll probably do it eventually soon. Like, I'll just look up Elmo's World Farms montage. Like, you know, it's not the one where it's the kid talking about one he or she's on the farm, but it's just the one playing instruments and just shows some pictures.
All right, now we're going to move on with Monkey Man, with the release date being October 3rd of 2000.
Just about 28 days before Thomas Magic Railroad came out on VHS in the United States.
Speaking of VHS, there was a Dragon Tales VHS released on that same day as well.
Yeah, just about
October 3rd, 2000.
Okay, so about, like, it was the same day. So basically 28 days before Magic Railroad hit VHS.
I think she's asking if you can name the clips in the montage. I'm not sure if he can answer all of them, because he might not remember all of them.
Yeah, I have to probably just watch a few of them back to back, just not all of them, because that'll take too long.
So, anyway, Monkey Man would also include a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop.
Yep. The something man, multi-man, something, whatever you say it.
Monkey Man is the name, and the episode would be Monkey Man, Buses, Bikes, and Subways, Helga's Masquerade, Mr. Green Runs, Sid the Vampire Slayer, Big Sis, Bag of Money, and Principal Simmons. And it would also include 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes, Not a Problem, and Ord's Unhappy Birthday.
Yeah, about Not a Problem. God, when I watch that, it's like every time that kind of reminds me of how I've trouble tying my shoes every time, because I can't.
It's very similar to the SpongeBob episode, Your Shoes Untied, where SpongeBob has trouble tying his shoes.
But this one, Max gets even furious when he doesn't know how to tie knots, and he's like, it's not fair. Knots are dumb. And like, this one, they can't just give up because they have to rescue the youngest unicorn from go on the carousel. And like, Yeah, I think Ord was sounding more teenage in that episode. Like he goes,
And the merry-go-round is wasn't Ord very worried and like with a sad, worried expression, like the merry-go-round's only going to be here for today, and if we don't find her soon, we won't get to ride it all, and we'll miss all the fun, and the poor little pony will be lost in the dark.
well, I know like this one montage where they sing, like I can even do it myself, like it does Zack and Wheezy went to town and something. That's just
Apparently
a parody.
they used the same amusement park music that would later be heard in the season 2 episode Try It, You'll Like It.
Yeah, and also about Ord's unhappy birthday. Like it's strange how they saw Sid Sycamore, but for some reason they meet him in Emmy's dream house, which is kind of in the wrong order. Because
maybe they should have aired Emmy's dream house first before Ord's unhappy birthday.
Yeah, basically just flip them around, because like how they did for these 4 episodes of Thomas of season 10. They actually
put they should have paired Ord's unhappy birthday with Dragon Sales and Not a Problem with Emmy's dream house.
Well, or like just put Emmy's dream house like as the last episode of episode 3, and put Ord's unhappy birthday as the first episode of the 9th episode of season 1. Because like I said, they should have met Sid in Emmy's dream house first, because you know how you watch season 10 of Thomas? Well, these episodes I'm going to explain how, for some reason they put Big Strong Henry and Sticky Taffy Thomas first in season 10, but for some reason they don't properly meet Rocky until Edward Strikes Out in season 10.
Apparently there's something very similar to that with a DVD and VHS release of Thomas, which James goes, since the VHS of Percy's Ghostly Trick has the episode Escape, which marks the debut of Oliver. Yet Oliver already appeared in the VHS release before Percy's Ghostly Trick was released, and that was James Goes Buzz, containing the episode Bulgy.
Yeah, they should have done that too. Swap the episodes around, put Escape on James Goes Buzz, and put Bulgy on Percy's Ghostly Trick, and they could have used the end credits. Well, I think they just used the end credits still from All at Sea, but because I guess they just put the Bulgy episode 5th, because there's only 6 episodes on that release, the Percy's Ghostly Trick release. But anyway, about Ord's unhappy birthday. Well, despite it's in the wrong order spot, I'll just still explain what goes on in the episode. It's Ord's birthday, but everyone's trying to keep it a surprise from him because it's a surprise party for him. But basically,
yeah.
And basically, what were you gonna say? Say your line first.
What were your thoughts on what happens? Zack and Wheezy's performance in the episode Ord's Unhappy Birthday, or like what they do in that episode?
Well, their performance was actually good, and despite when they saw Ord, their scream was hilarious. I don't know if Ord speak like himself or like a teenager. I'll have to watch it again. Ord's Unhappy Birthday.
Well, I've watched it. He kind of sounds like a mixture between.
Okay, so I think when he first saw Zack and Wheezy with their hats on, he hi guys, and then they scream, ah!
All right. So, at the beginning of the DVD of Monkey Man, it would have the Columbia TriStar home video logo with the word DVD at the bottom with the loud whooshes and the regular louder phaser sounds. In the DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screens. And then, of course, the Season 5 funding for Hey Arnold, which this time it's on a purple background. And instead of Steve Burns doing the voiceover, it's actually Spencer Klein who does the voice of Arnold back in Seasons 4 and 5.
Okay.
And then it has the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Beach ad. And then the Season 5 funding continued, which is basically the Ready to Learn plug that was used in Clifford the Big Red Dog and Season 2 of Dragon Tales. Except with the Ready to Learn funding plug music somewhat in a lower pitch than usual.
That's kind of odd if they used it lower pitched.
And basically, it's like a slightly extended version of the Dragon Tales funding, where it uses Ready to Learn, the U.S. Department of Education, and then Public Broadcasting Service before the Corporation for Public Broadcasting appears.
Okay.
And as you know, there would be two different versions of the Season 5 funding. The first one would be used from 2000 to 2001, where it has the Ready to Learn logo in purple with dot circular PBS Kids logo, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting logo that does not have the byline, while the other version would be from 2002 to 2004 with the red words Ready to Learn Television Cooperative Agreement and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting with the byline.
Yeah.
And then after the early Season 5 funding, it would have the title sequence in the start of the episode Monkey Man. The closing to the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode Principal Simmons, and in the online and local library promo from 2000 to 2004.
That's a long year for that. Well, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. And then, of course, the end credits, the Season 5 funding, and then the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Beach ad appears again. And that's because the Fruit Loops ad wasn't used until 2001.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Season 5 funding continued the television variant of the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then the 2000 PBS Kids Dash transformation ident, which of course has Dash transforming into a caveman first, and then turning into a scuba diver, and then turning into a robot, and then he grabs the letters PBS with magnetic, robot-like arms, and then turns into the circular PBS Kids logo on a pale spring bud background with dark blue bubbles wobbling and shaking throughout it.
Yeah.
And, by the way, that bumper would also later be used on Arthur DVDs beginning in 2003 with Arthur's Tasty Treats.
Yeah. Yeah, he showed me a case of Arthur's Tasty Treats DVD.
And then, of course, the Dragon Tales portion would have the Rice Krispies Bird's Nest ad, the Season 1 funding, and of Dragon Tales, and the title sequence in the start of the episode, Not a Problem. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, Ord's Unhappy Birthday, and then the online bumper for Dragon Tales from Season 1, and credits, and then the 1997 Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo with the word Play It Smart at the bottom. Then the Columbia TriStar television logo, the Frosted Flakes school ad, and the Season 1 funding for Dragon Tales again. And then the PBS Kids ident from 1999 with Dot the Girl running up to the screen. By the way, the transformation idents and the Snow Globe and Fishbowl idents were never used on Dragon Tales, at least for the first 3 seasons. And by the way, there were only 3 seasons of the show. But if Season 4 were to air, I would have the transformation idents, the Fishbowl and Snow Globe idents follow the Season 4 funding in addition to the 1999 Dot and Dash idents introduced in Seasons 1 through 3.
Yeah, and also, I come up with some cool fan-made ones if they do make a reboot of Dragon Tales. Like, I know the 2 new kids' names, if they did make a reboot of Dragon Tales, but they just didn't bring back Ord, Cassie, Zack and Wheezy, and Ketzel's old voice actors and actresses back.
I would have their new voice actors, or this time be by Bill Fagerbaki, who does Patrick.
Yeah, I think. And what if Tom Kenny did Zack? Or
what about Roger Bumpus doing Zack, who did the voice of Squidward? He was like,
"Oh,
come on, Wheezy."
Or like
I don't want to go to work, sir. And what would be a good girl voice actress to do Cassie if Chantal Strand did not return?
What about
would it be
Carolyn Lawrence, who does Sandy?
Carolyn Lawrence, the voice of Sandy?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking of saying, don't think of the woman actresses who voiced Percy and James in Magic Railroad of Thomas, Linda Ballantine and Susan Rollman. Well, yeah, and also, what would be a good voice for Wheezy if Kathleen Barr didn't return?
What about Lori Allen, who did the voice of Pearl?
Yeah, decent performance, and Clancy Brown, the voice of Mr. Krabs, could do
You could
Quetzal.
do the voice of Captain Scallywags in the reboot.
Yeah, and also the two kids' names for the reboot I came up with were Ben and Alicia, but the boy Ben is older and the girl Alicia is younger.
And what if Ben was voiced by what if Ben was voiced by the child actor?
You mean the same one who voiced Max?
No, I'm talking about what if Ben was voiced by Jason Swimer, who was the voice of DW in season 7 to 10 of Arthur?
Oh, that'd be kind of interesting because it's like how a guy actor can voice Arthur's sister DW. Well, for the boy Ben in the reboot of Dragon Tales, that'd be kind of cool. And I'm trying to remember if they could replace, or if they didn't use Chantal Strand, they could use the show's creator of Blue's Clues, Tracy Page Johnson, to do either Alicia or Cassie. Well, actually, no. For Alicia, I mean, we already have Cassie's confirmed for the reboot, if they made one. So I think.
And what if there was like a rebooted Muppet version of Dragon Tales as well?
I don't know. And what about if the episodes, like the same episodes, could still be called the same in season 1 if they made a reboot of Dragon Tales, but the first episode's still called To Fly with Dragons and The Force of Darkness, but this time, and Cassie meet Ben and Alicia, what
if in later episodes of the season there's another character that sometimes appears with them, kind of like when Enrique sometimes appears with Max, and it's a little. What about a Mexican girl named Stacy, who's voiced by Kathleen Hurls?
Stacy would be a good choice, actually, because it kind of reminds me of Stacey Jones from something else. But yeah, that'd be the Mexican girl, basically, because it'd be like the same way as if they did Enrique with Max and Emmy, basically. And also,
and what did you think of Kathleen Hurls voicing her? That Mexican or Colombian girl who sometimes comes.
That would be a good choice. And also, I know for a fun fact, they have to rename some of the episodes in the reboot because they can't just copy the names of the episodes again. If one particular one, instead of like no hitter, they call it no runner. Like, when Alicia gets angry, like first it'd be this parody of the same way as no hitter when Max hit Emmy on purpose. And what if it was opposite? But Alicia argued with Ben. She would basically say, "Give me the ball, Ben."
I'm not giving you the ball. You're playing out there with Ord.
Or what if it was Cassie? Because you know how Max kicked Ord's tail on purpose, but what if Alicia did the same thing to Cassie? Basically, like the same way of, basically Ben said, "Did not."
Oh, all right. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. We'll do more of this later.
So, now we're going to go into Compilation Collection Volume 8, which is a very special release, and that one would be called the Holiday Collection.
Holiday, not to be confused with Thomas's Holiday Collection, but just Holiday Collection for a fan-made Hey Arnold.
Yeah. And the Holiday Collection release would say Also includes a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop. But you know what's different about this one? It would have the roof colored blue, but the house colored red in the holiday collection specifically.
Yeah. That'd be kind of interesting because they could just decorate, because that's what holidays are about. They use decorative colors.
And I imagine the front cover having Arnold wearing a Santa hat with some snowflakes and a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
And this would have the episodes Arnold's Valentine, Arnold's Halloween, Arnold's Thanksgiving, and last but not least, Arnold's Christmas.
Kind of like those Peanuts classics with those holidays, but just Arnold, Hey Arnold style.
And this, what makes it really special is that it also includes 4 bonus Dragon Tales episodes instead of 2.
Wow. That's a plus.
And they are It Happened One Nightmare, Staying Within the Lines, Ketzel's Magic Pop-Up Book, and My Way or Snow Way.
Well, those would make perfect sense because It Happened One Nightmare kind of reminds me of the time, well, actually, hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I'll be right back in just a sec.
So,
Yeah. What was I saying about? I was gonna say what I think about the episodes. It Happened One Nightmare and Staying Within the Lines.
well, first we'll talk about It Happened One Nightmare.
Oh, right, that episode. Well, it kind of is funny,
I think she's asking if you could answer any of her questions.
Huh? Oh,
MRKP 2003 is asking if you could answer any of the questions.
that's gonna be a hard chore for me to do. But anyway, yeah, about the episodes, It Happened One Nightmare and Staying Within the Lines. First, It Happened One Nightmare. That's what I was trying to say first. It's like what they're trying to. They're so sleepy, the dragons. Because they kept getting kept away because of a nightmare Ord had, and whenever they see Cassie, man, her sleepy face is kind of funny if you ask me. When she's just sleepy and she doesn't notice Max and Emmy, and they have to yell out really hard to keep them awake. And they just remake Ord's nightmare, making a funny paper monster. And yes, this is the only, one of the 3 of season 1 does not use the chant to go back home.
Yeah, she's saying that she's very sorry, but it's okay. It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, what I was saying, yeah. Yes, I think It Happened One Nightmare, great episode, despite it doesn't have the chance to go back home at the end. Staying Within the Lines, I found kind of interesting, because it reminds me of, I don't know if you watched this show on Playhouse Disney when you were a kid, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
I've
kind of
seen
reminds me of
some episodes, but not all of them.
The first season's episode, particularly, when they lose all their color, that's what Staying Within the Lines kind of reminds me of. Because, they, their Dragonland, picture got washed out by a rain cloud and the colors got discolored. And they always, and the funny one is where they scream at Zach at the beginning. It's like, Zach!
But what about when the giant comes in?
Yeah, and he makes
you better give me my color back, and
he goes,
now.
First, he demands Cassie and Emmy, you two, you should do the jobs first. And then Cassie does this and shrinks down, and Emmy goes,
and then he says it to Zach and Wheezy, and Wheezy's like, you. Zach is like, you color him, Wheeze. I'm allergic to smelly feet.
And what about the one where he scares Ord?
And then Ord turns invisible.
Well, and then Cassie shrinks. Yeah, every time I see Cassie shrink, it kind of reminds me of the time I just do the voice clips when characters have the tiny voice.
Well, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And also, yeah, and also the funny part is like when Max does a mustache and hair on the giant, and then Zach screams out, "Oh no! The the giant hates you,
All right.
JB." And yeah, let's get right to the rest of the episodes. The
What
other
about
two
Castle
Dragon.
Magic pop-up book?
Oh man, that one was a great one. This is where they show off his pop-up book because this one they have to say the words "I imagine" because like they want to make a special story, but they keep making up funny stuff and random things keep getting in the way. But because they have to make sure to go in the right order.
And in one scene, Max is like mad when the story Max imagines ends early.
And like he goes, "Hey, my story's ruined." And then Cassie tells Max, "It's not your story, Max. It's everybody's." Yeah, and also, I think isn't that Mungus the Giant's second appearance in season 1? But because I think about the Ugly Dragling, that was his third in season 1.
I think she's asking how many more episodes do we have left. We still have a lot. In addition, if it gets late, we might do a part 3. At least Moving in 98 can stay for at least another hour because it's like 10 in his area.
Yeah, because he's the 2 hour behind time zone in mine. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, about also saying about Quetzal's Magic Pop book that I think it makes Mungus the Giant sound like himself because I think when he first appears, he sounded kind of higher pitched. Well, a little bit higher pitched. Basically, like I reenacted that line out already, but this one he goes, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the meat of a puny dragon." And then he goes, "Well, how are you going to rescue the princess?" Oh, and there's another version of remade of Pop Goes the Weasel. It goes, "Pop Goes the Wheezy," when Wheezy plays the funny song on a drum set. Because you know how the order Cassie goes last to round up the story, but she tells her friends when it's their turn to go in the story. Yeah, I like the funny one where they scream at the end, and then Quetzal's like, "Whoa, whoa, niños, one at a time, one at a time."
And what about the sister episode, My Way or Snow Way?
The first appearance of Chili the Snowman, that one is a great one because Wheezy tries to use different whistles to make Nippy his Chili's snow puppy come to him, and it still does the one with Ord sneezing with dandelions, and it basically goes, "Oh great! Now look what you did, Wheezy! You know Ord is allergic to dandelions."
Or what about this one scene when Ord is like, "Oops, that was my last sandwich."
Yeah, I don't know why he just ate it up like that. He should have just left it for Nippy, because I guess dogs don't like sandwiches. Or unless you just fed him a trail of food. Yeah, I know.
Well, I know they parodied Pop Goes the Weasel, and I know they parodied Jingle Bells in the episode of Feet on Her Feet. And they parodied the song Bingo when Ord sees the light.
Yeah.
With the frog croaking Max in the song.
Yeah. And also, I know it's that Chili kind of sneezed a few times in the episode. Like, yeah, it was Chili, like, basically said, like, when he had a sniffle in his nose, but at least he spoke good throughout the rest of the episode.
And what about when Chili begins crying and saying, "Oh no, now we'll never find Nippy"?
Yeah, he, like, starts to worry. Well, yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah, like I said, that's Chili's first appearance. Second one would be a snowman for all seasons in season 2. His third would be, I think his third would be Itching. No, Super Snow Day. Fourth one would be Itching for a Cure, but he just appears for a short time because they're trying to help Mungus in Itching for a Cure.
They did parody Old MacDonald at the end of the episode, Sound Like Trouble, and I think she's asking if they parodied Yankee Doodle.
Yankee Doodle, I don't think they did. Because if I watched the Barney release, the Super Singing Circus, that's when they do the Yankee Doodle, and I don't think they ever done a Yankee Doodle at all. Well, yeah, and I don't mind if I tell you more of the reboot of Dragon Tales if they did make another one. They do a basic opposite of No Hitter, but this is the opposite. Alicia plays out there with Cassie, but Alicia hits Ben first. But then they use a guy voice saying, "Ow!" And then Quetzal comes over and Ben cries out, "Alicia hit me!"
And what? Oh, I think she's asking how the old McDonald parody went. I know there was different animal noises from the cave, or McDonald had a cave.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I noticed.
Anyway, here's how the beginning of the DVD of the holiday collection would go.
Yep.
It would have the Columbia TriStar DVD logo with the loud whooshes and the digitally enhanced louder phaser sounds, just like on my DVD of Look Who's Talking 2.
I've never seen Look Who's Talking. But anyway, yeah. That's the same thing you're talking about, the logos, basically.
And yeah, and then the DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screens, the Season 5 funding, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, beach ad. I think she's asking what else. But anyway, Movie&GameLover98 and I are trying to make it as quick as possible, so.
Yeah. Sometimes I get annoyed when people say, I keep telling them to stop spamming me messages, like questions, because I can't do them all at the same time. By the way, yeah.
Yeah, it has the soft whooshes and the digitally enhanced loud phaser sound, like Jeremy Barton told me, which is also seen on my DVD of Look Who's Talking 2, which is a sequel to Look Who's Talking.
Yep.
DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screens. Season 5 funding, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, beach ad. Season 5 funding continued. And then a special title sequence, which has the seasons 1 through 3 and seasons 4 to 5 audio mixed in together.
Yeah.
Title with the words Holiday Collection in the Hey Arnold intro.
Yeah.
And then the title and the start of the episode, Arnold's Valentine. And at the end, it has the last few seconds of the episode, Arnold's Christmas, the online bumper from 2000 to 2004. And then, of course, the end credits, Season 5 funding, Libby's Juicy Juice ad. And then, of course, Season 5 funding, and then the Frosted Flakes Beach ad. Libby's Juicy Juice stopped sponsoring it after Season 4, by the way. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Season 5 funding, Libby. Season 5 funding, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Beach ad. Season 5 funding continued. Television variant of the Columbia TriStar television logo. And then the PBS Kids Dot transformation ident, where it has Dot transforming into a tiger, then to an octopus, then to an astronaut. And after turning into an astronaut, she floats up slightly and then says, "Die," and then she turns into the circular PBS Kids logo on a dark blue nighttime sky background with stars. And by the way, this would be shown on Arthur DVD releases beginning in 2002 with the Good Sport.
Good Sport, yeah.
And then, of course, the Dragon Tales portion would have the first part of the Dragon Tales portion would have the Rice Krispies ad, the Bird's Nest one, of course, Season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, title sequence, and the start of the episode, It Happened One Nightmare. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode staying within the lines, the Season 1 online bumper, the end credits, 1997 Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo with the word Play It Smart at the bottom, and then the Columbia TriStar television logo, Frosted Flakes school ad, Season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, and then the PBS Kids ident, which has Dash the Boy thinking about something, and then the second half of the Dragon Tales portion would have the same Rice Krispies ad, of course, and then the Season 1 funding and the Dragon Tales theme. Then we go to the start of the episode, Quetzal's Magic Pop-Up Book this time. And then the second half would close with the last few seconds of the episode My Way or Snow Way, the online bumper for Dragon Tales from season 1, and then the end credits. But there is a but you want to know what is completely different about the DVD of the Holiday Collection compared to the 2002 program break recorded after those episodes?
Yeah.
What is different is that while the program break from 2002 uses the Sesame Workshop, Green Roof, and Blue House logo fully animated, and in the Columbia TriStar television logo and the Frosted Flakes Community Center ad in the season 1 funding and PBS Kids Ident from 1999, the DVD of the Holiday Collection, on the other hand, due to it being released in 2000, would have the 1997 Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo with the word Play It Smart at the bottom appear instead. And then after the Columbia TriStar television logo is the Frosted Flakes school advertisement. And then the season 1 funding with the 1999 PBS Kids Ident. That's probably the only difference.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Then we get into the Hey Arnold, the second to last Hey Arnold DVD release from 2000. And you know what that is called?
Oh, the last one we did was a holiday one collection.
There's a second to last. Now we go into the second to last Hey Arnold DVD release from 2000. And it's called The New Bully on the Block, released on November 21st of 2000.
Yeah. Right around, I think it was around time Thanksgiving was coming around in 2000.
Yeah. And it also includes a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop. And the episodes would be The New Bully on the Block, Phoebe Breaks a Leg, Parents' Day, Helga's Locket, Sid and Germs, Suspended, and Ernie in Love. I hate to say it, but the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes would be Bully for You and The Great White Cloud Whale, but it had to be fitting because it's called The New Bully on the Block, just so you know.
Yeah. We're still going to, eventually when we get to the Dragon Tales portion, we're still going to talk about still how Bully for You is still the worst episode ever. But first, we got to talk about the episodes of the Hey Arnold portion first.
Actually, when we talk about them, you mention your thoughts on the Dragon Tales episodes, then we go over the opening and closing.
Okay. So I guess I'll do it first if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. Yes, what I think about Bully for You, beside the bad part with Cassie not acting like a man, saying, I've had enough, but the beginning was actually okay. Like, you know, when they kept worrying about their block tower was going to fall over, but then, yeah, everything else was okay, but then Spike appears and he makes Cassie really upset. But I told you from part 1 yesterday is that how I improved it, well, how Cassie spoke sternly to Spike, and then Spike tells Cassie to calm down after she was stern to him, and then he kept getting worried, then he eventually runs into Quetzal, and Quetzal gets upset at Spike, saying that you've hurt Cassie's feelings and he should be expelled.
Yeah. Oh, what about this? What about when Cassie gets upset the second time when he takes Cassie's sugar plums?
God, it's still bad. Yeah, like, remember how we did that like a few times ago when we showed you showed me your Columbia TriStar, or just Columbia TriStar DVD edition video. Like, it reenact the part with Cassie crying, Spike took my sugar plums. Yeah.
Jeremy Barton thinks the episode No Hitter was even worse.
Yeah, especially like, yes, the parts we already mentioned. But yeah, about the Great White Cloud Whale, yes, it's the second appearance of Captain Scallywag. His first appearance was Sky Pirates.
At least it's much better than its sister episode, Bully for You.
Yeah, I think, can I tell you, the animation in Bully for You, it looks like it was taken from like a Disney cartoon or something. Because you can see like look at their animations, like from a Disney animated film from
Either
earlier.
that, or the animation might have looked like it was from an early SpongeBob episode from season 1 in addition.
Well, yeah, one of the two. It doesn't really matter. It's honestly one of the two. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, about the Great White Cloud Whale, yes, it's Captain Scallywag's second appearance. I don't think he appeared in any of the season 2 episodes, but I know he came back in season 3. In the season 3 episode,
Season 3.
it's El Dia de Maestro. Have you?
Yeah, El Dia de Maestro.
Yeah, it's basically
like Maestro.
It's basically means in Spanish for Teacher's Day, but they make chalupas for Quetzal's special treat for Teacher's Day, basically in Spanish, the Spanish version of Teacher's Day. But yeah, back to the Great White Cloud Whale, where they have to find Captain Scallywag's favorite toy ship, but it was eaten by a cloud whale. And you know how they do the funniest lyrics, like when Wheezy sings, "Oh, where has my Great White Cloud Whale gone?"
And he's like, "That's a dog song."
Yeah,
Zach
it's kind of
literally breaks the fourth wall saying that.
It breaks the fourth wall because even though Dragon Tales doesn't really talk to the audience, but he still says that's a dog song. But yeah, and like it still gets even funnier when Wheezy just does it. You know, there's a way you can actually loop it to make Wheezy keeps singing it for like 10 minutes, basically, or basically up to about 9 minutes or something, or 10 minutes. I've never done that before. I'll have to try that. Like, you know, like Wheezy keeps singing it for like 10 minutes. And then Max was like,
what if you made a parody video where Zach and Squidward had enough of SpongeBob, Patrick, and Wheezy's noises?
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny. And yes, like they're trying to get the chip that Captain Scallywag played with as a kid, and they basically get it out of the whale's mouth, and they basically use some kind of different fish bait because it's like a fish balloon because it's like a cloud whale. And like, you know how Max explains which one of these L's is his left and right hand? Basically, this way is like the left hand, and the right one is his right hand, because, you know, some people are left and right-handed.
Now these episodes were one of the last Dragon Tales episodes to air because it was episode 38 and they were 40 episodes.
Yeah, basically before the last set batch of 4 episodes of season 1.
And you know, what about when Ori was like, "We thought the cloud whale swallowed a big ship like this one."
Or Zach says, "Like it did Captain Scallywag's favorite toy ship. No thanks."
All right.
Yeah, and let's get to the opening and closing really quick.
At the beginning of the DVD of the new Bully
Yeah.
on the block, it gets back to using the loud whooshes and the regular louder phaser sounds. And then the DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screens, season 5 funding, and then of course the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes beach ad, and then of course the season 5 funding continued, and then the title sequence in the start of the episode, the new Bully on the block, and the closing to the Dragon Tales the closing of the Hey Arnold portion would add the last few seconds of the episode Ernie in Love, and then of course the Hey Arnold online bumper from 2000 to 2004, the end credits, season 5 funding, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes beach ad again, and then of course the season 5 funding continued, the Columbia TriStar television logo from 1997, and then of course the PBS Kids Dot transformation ident, where Dot the girl transforms into a tiger, octopus, and astronaut, just like in the holiday collection release. And then the Dragon Tales portion would have the Kellogg's Rice Krispies Bird's Nest ad, the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales title sequence in the start of the episode, Bully for You. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, the Great White Cloud Whale, the Dragon Tales online bumper from season 1, and then of course the end credits, and then of course the 1997 Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo with the word "Play It Smart" at the bottom, and then the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then of course the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school ad, and then the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, and then the PBS Kids Ident with Dot the girl running up to the screen, and in a DVD menu. You know, I thought of this. After we get into the last 2000 release, we'll go over one more year, which is the 2001 release, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay.
But luckily, the 2001 releases, there aren't as much 2001 releases as there are 2000. So, anyway, there's only one more release from 2000 to go, and that is Summer Love. And that includes a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop. And there is only one episode of Hey Arnold on this DVD, and that is Summer Love. And as a result, it has 6 bonus Dragon Tales episodes on here.
Yeah.
And they are Quibbling Siblings, Wheezy's Hairball, The Greatest Show in Dragonland, Prepare According to Instructions, Don't Bug Me, and Over and Over.
Yeah, we could have gotten Over and Over on DVD finally, if they made that release. Well, anyway, yeah. This is going to be hard to explain all these episodes, since you said there's going to be 6 bonus Dragon Tales episodes on this.
Now, what are your thoughts on Quibbling Siblings?
Well, since I found the plot confusing, because, yes, Ord and Cassie, some reason, appeared without dialogue, the first few minutes were okay. But, of course, like, you know, the portion when Zack cries because Wheezy scared the juggle bug away.
I'm doomed! Now that the rare juggle bug is gone, I'll have nothing to share at school. Nothing!
Yeah. That was just confusing plot for me, but even though the first few minutes was okay, I guess.
Or what about when Zack put on the alone cone after saying, "That does it"?
Yeah. First, the time they mentioned something about an alone cone, where basically they put it over one of the 2-headed dragons, because one doesn't want to hear what the other's saying.
And then Emmy says that she could use an alone cone sometimes. With Max.
Well, if they were stuck 2 heads, but they can't do something like that for kids. Or if they could just glue their shoulders together. If you watch this one movie where the 2 guys are basically glued together, that's how they were when they were born. They were basically 2 twins glued together on their arms, and they had to work together like that. Well, they could, if they did that to Max and Emmy. Well, anyway, back to the rest of the Dragon Tales episodes, because there's going to be 6 to talk about. Wheezy's Hairball I found kind of cute, because, you know, it's about their bouncing baby Boinger, and they name him Slurpee. Because, you know, one of the funniest lines I remember watching, yeah, especially like, I don't know, does someone do the voice of Boingers? I mean of Slurpee, excuse me, or is it just a certain person who does his whimpering and his?
I think it's a certain person who does the whimpering and stuff.
Okay, don't tell me I think it's Ty Olson who does Ord.
It might be Jason Mikas who does Zack. I'm not sure either.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the person I'll just say who does Slurpee's whimpering and his cute baby dog barks are kind of good. Well, I mean, I like the person in real life, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's about like something goes wrong and Slurpee feels sad about something, but then they realize he's hungry. But they got to realize they got to figure out how they eat food differently from growing up kids or adults, basically. Because babies, they have to mush dragon berries so he can feel happy and hungry and ready to play some more.
Okay, and now what are your thoughts on the greatest show in Dragonland?
Oh, that one? That's when the 2-headed dragons, Zack and Wheezy, got grounded because one of them hurt their wing at swinging too hard at the playground. So I'm coming up with the word grounded, but whatever. Let's just keep talking about the episode. Because this one, like, they have to figure out how to get to Wonderworld, but then when they get there, it's just a lame version because they thought the rides they took on the way were much better than they did. Especially like when they took a log ride and they took a ride on Fifi and they had to ride on their bellies on the snow to the park. And basically,
speaking of Fifi, that kind of reminds me of the SpongeBob episode Little Yellow Book, where Squidward reads part of SpongeBob's style and he says, "Listen to this. SpongeBob names his spatula Fifi."
Wasn't that the one where the? Isn't that from one of the SpongeBob episodes of, like I think a later SpongeBob episode where Squidward yells out at SpongeBob really hard through a horn, and SpongeBob melts into like his
Yeah,
body.
that's Little Yellow Book from season 9.
Basically, the one where he yells really hard into the megaphone to SpongeBob and tells him to get a hold of himself. There's customers going all crazy on the floor of the Krusty Krab.
Yeah.
Okay, well, but anyway, back to the Dragon Tales episode. They realized they did not like the rides at Wonderworld because they thought they were boring than the ones they did when they were traveling to it. Basically, you know how like someone has a cast, you can't even get it wet or get it stuck. If you touch it near the snow, then you'll get in serious trouble with your doctor. That's how like, well, I mean, I've never had a cast on me as a kid because, well, that's why you have to be careful on rainy days or like in a snowy situation. You got to be careful not to get snow or get your cast wet.
Yeah.
And about prepare coordinating instructions, the best way to think of how to get to the thing to see dancing crystals, they had to plan out some things ahead instead of just taking a while to basically get the stuff they needed. And yeah, I like the funniest one when Zach yells out "Boo Boo Alert! Boo Boo Alert!" Or
Well,
like
he
when they
does that in the episode Stormy Weather as well.
Okay, this in Stormy Weather, he says "Boo Boo Alert! Boo Boo Alert!"
Does he say it more dramatic in Stormy Weather, or does he say it more dramatic and prepare according to instructions, or is it equally as dramatic?
Equally dramatic, but and also when they say "Go back, guys, dragon down." Yeah, and also like when they use some ways to get like water to spray onto the stage, and then they see dancing crystals.
Yeah, and then what do you think of the season 1 finale episodes? Don't Bug Me and Over and Over.
Oh yeah, about Don't Bug Me, they have to find a special butter fairy bug for Quetzal.
A
like butter fairy.
flutterby.
Yeah, like you know, like how they try to make sure they don't scare it away. Well, the first time, like when Wheezy, like when Zach tells him, "Shh, quiet, don't move. It's a flutterby. Get it now."
Flutterby? What about when Ord whispers, "Firefly, where?"
Like, you know, another one when Max runs into a stinky bug again, but instead of saying "P.U."
He said, "Bleh, it's just a stinky bug." And it actually played the same background music that was heard in the episode Do Not Pass Gnome when Ord Try to Fix Emmy's Yo-Yo. That is the exact same background music.
Yeah, and also when Max plays a joke on Ord and puts the rubber spider on Ord's on his feet, and he goes out, exclaims, "Ord, there's a big bug on you!"
Ah! Get it away! Get it away!
It's just a rubber spider, silly. Where's he going?
I think you hurt his feelings, Max.
Or, I think you hurt his feelings, Max. But it was just a joke.
It doesn't matter how big you are. Everyone's scared of something.
Not me. Oh, how about snakes?
That's different. Yeah, and then what about near the end of the episode where they finally find that rare flutterby, and then
yeah, especially like when it goes on Ord's nose and basically says, "Ord, I think it likes you." And then finally when they get back to Quetzal and they say, "Kalamba, you found the flutterby."
wasn't Fernando voiced by the same actor who did Quetzal, except he said it a bit with a different accent, even though it's the same actor?
Yeah, it looks they're the same character, but that's just a different voice. Yeah, like I said,
it's the same character actor who voiced Fernando as well, like Quetzal.
yeah, like, actually, mind if I do the impression from when he first speaks in the Jumping Bean Express towards the end?
Like when Max says, "You look just like Quetzal."
See, I'm his twin brother.
Yeah, and yes, Fernando's second appearance was head over heels in season 2. But anyway, yeah, back to Don't Bug Me. They finally get the thing, and finally the finale of season 1. It's called.
And what about the ending gag at the end of the episode where the mom screams, "Who put this skinny pug in the wastebasket?"
Sorry, Mom. And then they laugh.
They all laugh at the end.
And yeah, especially the beginning of now onto Over and Over, as I'm trying to say, we're getting into the finale of season 1 over and over. It's like when Max comes in all mad in the playroom when Emmy says, "Max, you'll scare the fish." Got it. Do you want to try? No. I don't want to. Well, he says he's not good at doing anything, but he's done all these things in the past before. But yeah.
You know, that beginning of Max complaining kind of reminds me of the beginning of The Tall Tale, where he's like, "I'm too short."
Yeah, and also when they eventually reach Dragonland at the first few minutes, like when Wheezy and Zack are arguing after he has his, "Why haven't you two picked out a special color yet?" It's Wheezy's fault.
It's not.
I love all the colors of the rainbow, but Zack just loves orange.
Oh, and what about when Orb tried to teach Max how to get over to the monkey bars?
Yeah, especially like when Max failed on the first try and he got so mad, but then Orb tells him to say, "Cheer up, Max. One bar isn't bad enough. You have to really keep trying."
Oh, and what about near the end of the episode where Orb gets stuck in the sap?
Oh, well, before we get to that, I do like some of the portions where Orb keeps trying his hardest to teach Max to swing on the monkey bars. Particularly, I know, when Max really screams out really hard, he really wants to try. "I still can't hear ya. I want to swing across the monkey bars." Wow, that's really good. Let's do this. The first thing to practice is to keep your arm from one arm to another. And also when Ord cheers on with the different hat, besides his coaching hat, when he basically goes out, "Swing the body to and fro. Grab the bar and don't let go. Swing your body to and fro. Grab the bar and don't let go." Did you see? I did it! I did it! You sure did, partner. Yeehaw!
Oh, and what if when the season 1 episodes were repeated a second time in season 4, they brightened the colors up slightly, even though it still had cell animation, they just got it slightly brighter?
I guess so. And yeah, and also, yeah, you mentioned the part, you wanted me to do the parts when Ord is stuck in the sticky peppervissel sap. I think he goes, "Can you get out?" And Ord's like, "No." "Huh? I can't get out."
That is the funniest scene ever, because it's muffled by the bubbling noises.
Yeah, and then Ord explains, "I'm stuck in sticky peppervissel sap. Tastes like maple syrup." And he shows Max about those tree branches. They can act just like monkey bars. And
I noticed that in some season 1 episodes of Dragon Tales, they use different shots of Emmy and Max in some episodes when they say their closing rhymes. Sometimes they use the shot from the episode not separated at birth. Sometimes they use the one from the Forest of Darkness. Sometimes they use the one from To Fly with Dragons. It all depends.
Yeah, actually, at the end of Quetzal's Magic Pop-Up book, after Quetzal says, one at a time, you can see their one from To Fly with Dragons, but except they use... Well, actually, they still do it normally, the chant to go home.
at the very end of the very first episode to Fly with Dragons. But yeah, towards the end of the episode, over and over, the final lines, like for the final lines with their cell animation designs, they basically go, "We put our flowers together in a parade. Orange, you glad we did? Your pfeffer, you know, flowers look great, Ord. Thanks to you, Max."
And since that was all 6 episodes, I'm not going to say entirely how it opens and closes, but just what some of the stuff that appears. It would have the Columbia TriStar home video logo with the word DVD at the bottom with the loud whooshes and the regular louder phaser sounds. Obviously, and there's an error in the PBS Kids ident in the Hey Arnold portion. You know what that is?
What?
It uses the dash transformation ident, but it uses the audio from the 1999 dot ident.
Yeah, I noticed that too on some PBS Kids program breaks on YouTube, and I watched some of them.
Like which one, for example?
I think it would be the one from the 2000s when I was in probably elementary school in the start of 2005, I think, or maybe it was 2004. I don't know.
Well, I actually saw an error back in 2003 in Clifford the Big Red Dog, in a season 2 episode, that is, and the dot transformation ident used the snow globe ident's audio for some reason, and
yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and anyway, and yes, the last release from 2000 would still have the 1997 Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo on the screen.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to get into the 2001 releases, in which there are only 8. So
8. Yeah.
Here's the first one from 2001. Now, what did you think of the episodes Bully for You and the Great White Cloud Whale appearing on the new Bully on the Block DVD to make it fit, even though it was one of your least favorite episodes?
That does make perfect sense because it says the word bully in the title.
And now we're going to go into Compilation Collection Volume 9. And that is called Arnold Faces His Fears.
Uh-huh.
And it also includes a bonus episode of Dragon Tales from Sesame Workshop. Oh, and by the way, Summer Love would be released December 19th, 2000, and Arnold Faces His Fears would be January 16th, 2001.
Yeah.
And it would have the episodes Does Subway, Abner Come Home, and 24 Hours to Live.
24 Hours to Live.
And it would also include the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes, and for Arnold Faces His Fears, it's A Tall Tale and Stormy Weather. What do you think of those episodes appearing on Arnold Faces His Fears?
Well, for A Tall Tale, like I said, it's a meh episode, despite Cassie's not in the episode, but I wish she was. Because I don't know why they just messed this up in the other characters' introductions. They could have just done it with all characters, but I guess Sony didn't really want to mess with the format of the show. But yeah, A Tall Tale, yes. I know that's the first appearance we see Eunice. That's the only thing I find okay. Like, the first few minutes is also okay, but then other than that, it just starts to get meh. Well, I know, yes, they have to find Eunice's glasses, because she can't see very well without them.
I noticed Eunice had a higher pitched voice in season 3 episode, making it fun compared to A Tall Tale.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it in season 3 for her. They could have just done it a much deeper, because they did it for Mungus the Giant. They did his pitched voice high, but in later ones he tends to sound like himself. But I don't know why they messed it up for Eunice. But yeah, of course, yes, with the finer glasses. I found that funny, though, despite Cassie's not in the episode. Max rides on Eunice, but Emmy rides on Ord. Yeah, and about stormy weather, and you know what? That's kind of equivalent. Like, like when Ord runs away because there's a big storm cloud coming, and he can't stop getting afraid of it.
I
Yeah.
know that Zach is a little bit frightened when he hears it, but Ord is even more frightened. Zach gets scared when he says, "It is a little loud." But
Well,
Ord
that was
is even more frightened than Zach does.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And yeah, like I said, this and prepare according to instructions are the two ones when Zach says boo boo alert, boo boo alert. Basically, I'll just say he says boo boo alert two times two, basically.
And what about when Ord is like, "We're gonna be stuck here forever and ever."
But then he does this, that makes the decision to open his birthday present even before his birthday even came, like way earlier. That's kind of like I would never do that on my birthday as a kid. Never open up my birthday presents without my parents. But for some reason, his parents didn't care. Ord's, like, when he opened his present, it was a cape.
Well, I'm
And
surprised Ord didn't get punished at the end of the episode for opening the present early.
yeah, but for some reason, if you watch this season 16 episode of Thomas, Emily's winter party special, where Emily forgot to grab Sir Tom Hat's hat, but she grabbed the present train, she still got scolded by Sir Tom Hat because she still forgot to find the hat. Even though she already grabbed the present train, even though she just literally got it decorated, but then she had to go back in due to Sir Tom Hat's orders because, well, she didn't finish her job.
Oh, and
Well,
what about when Zach and Wheezy try to help Ord imagine what the thunder would be like and the sounds of rain and stuff would be as different instruments?
yeah. That was a cool thing about the episode when I watched it a long time ago. And yeah.
And at the beginning of the DVD of Arnold Faces His Fears, it would have the Columbia TriStar home video logo from 2000 with the word home entertainment at the bottom. This is the second release to use that.
Uh-huh.
And then DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screens, and then of course the Hey Arnold funding from season 5, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes beach ad, season 5 funding continued, title sequence in the start of the episode, Dawes Subway, and the closing to the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode 24 Hours to Live, and then the online bumper from 2000 to 2004, and credits, and then of course the season 5 funding, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes beach ad again, and then the season 5 funding continued, and then the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then PBS Kids Ident with Dash the Boy Thinking, and then the Dragon Tales portion would have the Rice Krispies Bird's Nest ad, and then of course the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, and then of course the title sequence in the start of the episode, A Tall Tale. And the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, Stormy Weather, and then the online bumper for Dragon Tales, and then the season, and then of course the end credits in the 1997 Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo with the word Play It Smart at the bottom. Yes, this would still continue to be used in January 2001.
Yep.
And then, of course, the Columbia TriStar television logo, and then, of course, the Frosted Flakes school ad, and in the season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, and then the PBS Kids Ident, again with Dash the Boy Thinking, and then the DVD menu. And this would be the only DVD to use the Dash ident in both the Hey Arnold and the Dragon Tales portions.
Very my idea, if I might add myself, to use it for both. Fan-made one, yeah. Very clever idea to use for fan-made one, to use the dash thing twice.
Just like with some of those Hey Arnold releases that used the dot ident in both portions.
Yeah.
Then we go into Compilation Collection Volume 10, and that is called Helga Gets a Long, with the release date being February 13th, 2001.
I think that's also the same date that the Thomas's Trackside Tunes came out on VHS. VHS alone. It didn't come out on DVD until 2008, Thomas's Trackside Tunes, but on VHS by itself, basically. The same day Thomas's Trackside Tunes simply on VHS by itself.
And the episodes would be Operation Ruthless,
Operation
Boyfriend, and Road Trip. And
yep,
the 2 bonus Dragon Tales episodes for the DVD of Helga Gets Along are, of course, Blowing with the Wind, although the back cover says Blowing in the Wind for some reason. And, and No Hitter.
Yeah, about Blown in the Wind, that's the first time we see Wendy. Isn't that her name?
Yes.
Okay, it's Wendy, yeah. The one, she wants to try and whistle. I can never whistle. I'm bad at whistling. I can hum, but I just can't whistle. I can't whistle. I'm bad at whistling. Like, they try to show her how to whistle because it's even simple. You just gotta hold your mouth open like an O and try to blow out lungs, well, basically from your body, and you think you can whistle. Some people say it's easy, some people say it's hard, but yeah, like this is why they saw their dragon friends wondering why the wind was blowing so hard over their stuff, and they found out it was Wendy, who wants to learn how to whistle, and they try to show her how to do it. Yeah, I think that was wasn't that the first...
Wendy nearly give up near the end of the episode?
No. And I think out of this instance of the characters being absent, isn't this the first? No. I think this is the second. I think A Liking to Biking was the first one where it just has Ord and Cassie in the episode with Max and Emmy. A Liking to Biking is their first.
What if there was a sequel to A Liking to Biking where Ord tries to ride the bike again, but it accidentally breaks, and he's like, "That was my favorite bike. Now I have to get a new one."
Or, like, they how you use Quetzal's magic to basically restore it to its original glory, like they did in Liking to Biking. But yeah, back to Blown in the Wind.
That one, the sequel to it, will have Zack and Wheezy appearing.
But make sure Cassie is in it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, back to Blown in the Wind, they have to show Wendy how to whistle. Even though, yes, it's sometimes people can whistle, sometimes so they can't. Well, anyway, yeah. And yes, we're going into No Hitter, which I
believe is a Dragon Trash episode.
Well, like I said, the first few minutes are okay. The funniest part, like when the Dragon toy of Max's gets hit by a ball when he kicks a pretend kickball in the playroom with him and Emmy.
It's Ord and Emmy, Jeremy Barton. Max's behavior against Ord and Emmy.
Basically, oh yeah, and also like before they leave home, Max asks, "What can I pitch Emmy when we?" And then she says, "Okay." And then yes, we all know how the lines go. The same old. Emmy and Max argue, but then after a while, after Max gets seriously angry because he had enough, he hit Emmy.
Gets hit really hard, and she starts crying.
She basically says, "Max hit me!" And then Quetzal's like, "Why did you hit your sister, Max?"
He said I could pitch!
I did not!
Yes, you did! I asked you before you went home, and you said, okay!
I said, okay, let's go. I didn't hear you ask to pitch.
All right, Niños. Go ahead and pitch, Emmy. Max, we need to talk. But it gets even worse.
Well, first off, like...
But it gets even worse when Max kicks Ord's tail.
Well, actually, before that happens, yeah, Quetzal talks with Max. He tells Max to try this advice, and when he gets mad again, to not use his fists, but use his words. Because that's how I learned the hard way as a kid. My mom kept telling me, use my words. If I needed something, use the words. Don't use your body, use your words. And then Max tries to give it a try. Well, actually, the first time before he kicked Ord's tail, he gets mad when Ord catches the ball. But, well, but then he tries out the thing Ketzel tried to tell him to do, use the words. He didn't use the fist, but then when it happens again, yes.
He actually uses both the words and the fists.
At the same time. He could have just used the words and then yes, he kicks Ord in the tail after
and
getting
Ord becomes a big crybaby.
And he basically goes, "Ow! Oh, my tail!
Are you okay, Ord?
Max! I tried to let Max catch it, but the ball bounced in front of him and I wasn't even trying to catch it. And then he closed his eyes and the ball bounced right in front of him. And then it landed right in my arms and then he kicked my tail. And then, that's it, Max. I'm afraid you're going to have to come out of the game for a while.
Do you think that episode is even worse than Bully for You, or do you think it's just as bad as Bully for You?
They're both equally bad. Despite the first few minutes, everything's okay.
Now.
And after Ketzel and Cassie says, now what? Without Max, we won't have enough players to play now.
We'll never win now.
And then, hold on a sec. Sorry, someone's trying to call me on my cell phone, FlickLova2000. I think we're going to have to go talk about this later, about this fan-made thing, because my dad keeps calling me FlickLova2000.
Okay.
Yeah. Go. My dad keeps calling me, so see ya. We'll do the rest of this tomorrow or sometime next week.
Well, I could try tomorrow, but anyway, MRKP 2003, I could possibly do a live stream for you next week. I know I've never done one with you before, but
I'll just probably go and go FlickLova2000. So yeah, let me just go ahead and leave. My dad keeps calling me, so
okay.
See you later. So
okay.
see you possibly for a part 3, and you can. Yeah, so I'll see ya.
So this is part 2, where it's just releases from. All right. So at the beginning of the DVD of Helga Gets Along, it'll have the Columbia TriStar home video logo, and it's got the word DVD at the bottom, and then of course with the loud whooshes and the regular louder phaser sounds, DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning of attention screen, season 5 funding, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. We'll talk about we'll talk in a future stream, because I'm gonna end this stream after we talk about this last thing real quick. After the Columbia TriStar home video logo with the word DVD at the bottom, with the loud whooshes and the regular louder phaser sounds. And then, of course, the DVD menu, FBI warning, red warning, and attention screen, season 5 funding, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes speech ad, the season 5 funding continued. The title sequence and the start of the episode, Operation Ruthless. And the closing to the Hey Arnold portion would have the last few seconds of the episode Road Trip, and then the online local library promo from 2000 to 2004, then the end credits. Season 5 funding, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes speech ad again, and then the season 5 funding continued. Columbia TriStar Television variant of the Columbia TriStar Television logo. And then the PBS Kids Dash transformation ident, where Dash the boy transforms into a caveman, scuba diver, and robot. And then the Dragon Tales portion would have the Rice Krispies Bird's Nest ad, season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, title sequence, and the start of the episode, Blowing with the Wind. Now, the closing to the Dragon Tales portion would have the last few seconds of the episode, No Hitter, and then the online bumper for Dragon Tales from season 1. And then the end credits, and then the 1997 Children's Television Workshop semicircle logo with the word Play It Smart at the bottom, and then the Columbia TriStar Television logo. And then, of course, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes school advertisement, season 1 funding of Dragon Tales, and then the PBS Kids ident with Dash the Boy thinking about something, and then the DVD menu. And by the way, Jeremy Barton, Helga Gets Along would be the last DVD to use the Columbia TriStar home video logo on the back cover and on the disc art before it changes to Columbia TriStar Home Entertainment, because it was released in February 2001 for Helga Gets Along, and then the next one would be released in April. Well, I was thinking next Friday we could possibly do a stream for you. Yeah, like Friday at around sometime in the evening, but anyway. It will be called let's call it a Q&A with everyone, and you can also join the stream in this one. Of course, I'll be hosting it, and then I can send you the link so you can come in. Anyway, I'll see you later.